We got 3 ranked-on-ranked SEC games. Billy Napier gets fired. More firings coming. Time to get the squad together.
You're talking ball with the SEC squad. From Alabama to Tennessee, from Georgia to Oklahoma, from Auburn to Texas, it's the local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you scoops, breakdowns, and the most comprehensive preview of the upcoming SEC weekend. It's the SEC squad, and we have a seat for you. Hurt feelings and thin skin are prohibited. Squad up, you're part of the SEC squad.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the SEC squad. Sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and join us as we get you ready for another wild week talking all things SEC. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. If your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the FanDuel app today. Let's welcome in our squad heading into SEC Week 9, gents. It is cutting time. We're getting ready into the stretch where it matters most. Welcome in Zach Blackerby, host of Locked On Auburn. We got Stephen Willis, Locked On Ole Miss. John Miller, Locked On Mizzou. John Neighbors, Locked On Razorbacks. Jimmy Stein, Locked On Bama. John Williams, Locked On Sooners. Corey Burton, Locked On Vandy, and a late ad, Locked On Gators host Brandon Olson. Man, we have got a loaded house tonight. Call us Uncle Jesse. Call us whatever you want. We got a full house. Gents, as we start every week, let's start here. Give me a prediction about your team this week, Zach.
Maybe we score 20 points for the first time in SEC play against Arkansas.
Yeah, we're all shocked Hugh Freeze is still coaching your team, but it's okay. Brandon Olson, you guys fired your coach.
Yeah, they can't hurt me this week. That's my prediction.
Florida and Georgia, right, with the bye this week. Stephen Willis, Ole Miss.
This is the most consequential game in the Lane Kiffin era at Ole Miss.
Wow, hyperbole times 2. John Miller, Mizzou.
Well, gosh, game day, Vandy and Mizzou, just like we all predicted at the beginning of the season. Am I right? My prediction on Missouri is I think they'll score 30 points. I don't know if it's going to be enough. This game's going to be a shootout, in my opinion.
I agree with John, man. I think this game is going to be relatively high scoring. I think, Diego Pavia is going to do his thing once again.
Yeah. John Williams, Oklahoma.
Yeah, how about a bold prediction? Oklahoma holds Trinidad Chambliss under 200 total yards.
Wow, that would be very impressive.
I hope they do. John.
I bet you do, Brandon. I bet you do.
Jimmy Stein, a prediction for Bama?
After 4 straight wins over ranked teams, Kalen DeBoer shocks the world and beats an unranked team, almost unexpected.
Yeah, it's rare. We're used to them playing ranked teams every week. John Neighbors, the close but no cigar, Razorbacks.
I'm telling you, it's absolute torture, especially if you're losing money on them every time too. It's amazing that this game against Auburn is going to be when a movable force meets a stoppable object. I'm just messing that around because it's going to be weird. So, but I think Arkansas's defense holds a team to under 30 points for the first time this year.
Well, gents, before we get into previewing the big games this weekend, we did have a firing. We talked about the Sam Pittman firing a couple weeks ago, and now Billy Napier is out. So, Brandon, the floor is yours. How are we feeling? Billy Napier no longer your head coach.
I'm feeling so good. It's been a long time. Zach, hopefully you get to feel this at some point soon. It feels good to feel like there's some kind of hope around your program again. A lot of people like Billy. I like Billy. He's a nice guy. Not good enough football coach. That's all it needs to be. Probably should have happened. I mean, look, I said it last year was my first time calling for his job. And then a bunch of people wanted me to apologize when really, why are you booing me? I'm right. But look, Billy's gone. He'll land on his feet somewhere. Billy Gonzalez being the interim, I think that it's weird. Russ Callaway is the offensive coordinator, but quarterback coach Ryan O'Hara is going to be calling plays. And that really makes you look back on it and think Billy Napier got fired really because he never gave up offensive play calling duties. But if you're completely bypassing the offensive coordinator, going to the QB coach and saying, hey, you're calling plays, he might have genuinely been the best play caller available, which is wild. But hey, at this point, we're just enjoying the ride, watching Florida Gators football now.
Makes you think that they almost, I think we're in a similar situation at Auburn, right? Where Hugh Freeze is going to continue calling plays. And we're all having the discussions like what it would look like if he wasn't there, like who would call plays. And I don't think it would be our current offensive coordinator, Derek Nix. I think it would be the quarterback coach, Ken Austin. And it kind of makes you think like they probably made those hires for that reason.
Yeah, ego is crazy. Like, because for Florida, like you could have just hired an actual offensive coordinator. You'd probably still be coaching here.
Yeah.
But hey, ego gets in the way no matter how nice it is.
You died on that hill.
I'm with you.
It's kind of different with Arkansas because they actually hired, a guy who was a better head coach as the offensive coordinator. And then when they fired the head coach, they upgraded. So at least they have that to look forward to. But yeah, it's a crazy thing, which by the way, I'm so glad that when Napier gets fired, we have a full house. But when Pittman got fired, there was like 2 of you in this slot.
Hey, let it be known I was here. I think.
Hey, some of us just moved the needle. Sorry. Don't know what to tell you.
I kind of wish Brad Kellner was with us to get a reaction from a show who actually lost to Billy Napier this year before he.
Yeah, not
fired.
many of those. Not many of those. But
Yeah, that's got to be a rare occurrence that you beat Texas in a season and you still get fired. Like that's pretty special coaching failure by Billy Napier.
that's what happens when you lose to USF at home too.
This is also true.
Won 2 out of his last 3 on his way out the door. So,
Oh, congratulations to him. Still below 500, but at least he's getting $21 million.
When he ends up at UAB.
When they beat Mississippi State, were you concerned, Brandon, where you're like, oh, are they not going to do it now? Like, what was your level of concern there?
Yeah, I was told consistently throughout the entire week that even with a win, there's a pretty good chance he's gone on Sunday. And then they won, and I was just like, spineless Scott might actually keep him maybe through the end of the season. Look, I know players openly have been like, even if you were going to fire him, we wish that you waited until the end of the season because Billy is a very well-liked guy, but I was hoping and praying that it would actually finally happen. There was one point on Sunday, I actually got a text that said, so it might not happen today. And then about 2 hours later, it did happen. But yeah, I was very concerned that they were going to once again make the wrong decision and keep him for a bit.
I wonder if I wonder if some of these other early firings has put a little bit more pressure on these ADs to make a decision earlier than what they might have done so early. Because if Penn State's moving on from James Franklin, who's been an established coach there for a long time, I mean, Florida doesn't have to wait on Billy Napier.
No, especially when they're getting Lane Kiffin.
All aboard the Lane train, baby. Let's do it.
And who Billy Napier beat, by the way.
Yeah.
Lane in Florida is going to be scary for the SEC.
Oh yeah,
he's going to be a
single one you're
force.
going to hate.
It's going to be exactly what it is right now. He's not going to change magically because he's in Florida. He's not going to dominate high school recruiting because there's so many athletes in Florida. He's going to recruit the same way if he goes to Florida.
It'll be
You
better.
keep telling yourself that, buddy.
Hey,
Real quick.
I've been doing this experience for 6 years. He doesn't listen to people. He does what he wants to do. He's not going to change the way he wants to do things because of any reason. And you can ask Zach about this. Don't count your chickens on Lane Kiffin until something is signed.
That's true.
Oh yeah, no.
Do you think he's going to leave, Steven?
For now, I'm just enjoying it.
I don't.
Okay.
I think he would be dumb to leave. Honestly.
Yeah, raise your hand real quick. Show of hands. Do you honestly believe Lane Kiffin is going to leave for the Florida job? Raise your hand.
No.
Okay, so John Neighbors is maybe Brandon. So here's the crazy thing of the evolution, and you guys sound off on this. Like a few years ago, it was Lane Kiffin's toxic because he's outspoken on social media. He's an AD's nightmare because I don't want to have to deal with that guy. But since that time, he's become a consistent winner. He wins every year, 10-plus games. And I think now ADs are like, I'll put up with the bull crap because he wins. So I think he's actually attractive higher now, and I think Florida would be dumb to glance over him.
Well, and in this day,
let me get out ahead of that right now. Florida ain't glancing over Lane, and glancing over Lane right now. All right, that Lane is probably at the very top of the board right now.
He should be the top. He should be the top choice of everybody in college football because he's won 10 games a year at Ole Miss. I mean, it would be foolish to not even think that. So yes, of course, Florida wants it. I just don't think that Lane, who, if he wants to go deep sea fishing right now on a Wednesday in the middle of football season, Ole Miss lets him do it. They would not let him have that freedom in Florida.
If he wants to win a national championship, it ain't in Oxford.
Right now it is, because the last 4 coaches couldn't do anything in Florida. They're top 10.
What does that mean? They were bad coaches. What does that mean? Because it hasn't happened before, it can't happen.
Wait. Florida, it's supposed to be so easy to win and recruit there, and it was just a push button.
When did I say that?
But you're sitting here saying you could do it. Dan Mullen won 10 games at Mississippi State. What did he do at Florida? Did he win a national title?
He quit.
And why wouldn't
he quit?
But wouldn't you just be shocked? Would you be shocked if Lane just quit if he got into a toxic environment?
I don't know. Is Lane going to create the toxic environment and then quit?
Maybe. The Lane
that's what happens.
Is a real thing.
He's not winning it in Oxford. And also, I want to make it clear, I didn't say he needs to come to Gainesville to win. I said he's not winning it in Oxford. If he goes somewhere else, he goes somewhere else. But Lane has never made it a secret that he always has this like infatuation with Florida that he always talks about. He's a Spurrier guy. Steve Spurrier is the guy that made him want to get into this kind of stuff. The visor, that's why he does it. I'm not saying he's coming to Florida. I am just saying that I think Florida is easily the biggest threat, where if Lane is going to leave Ole Miss, Florida should be looked at as that spot that is going to drag him out of that.
Alabama is by far the number 1 choice. If Lane left Ole Miss, he would want that job. Second is Miami. He would go to Miami over. If he took the Florida job, you still would have to worry about Miami when Mario Cristobal took over.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, you would. Yeah, I'm telling you, I've done this for 6 years.
That's fine.
Okay.
I've done this for 4 days.
Yeah.
6 years.
Change is good, Steven. Change is good.
Zach, real quick on
7 years. Yeah.
Do we think this is the last game for Hugh Freeze at Auburn?
No, I don't think so.
No, it has
to win or lose. I don't think it is.
It has to be, because
Auburn needs to make Hugh wear this all the way to the end. There needs to be a 55-10 to Alabama at the end, so that Hugh Freeze is just dead and buried forever.
I'm not against that. I get the argument for firing early. I do, but I'm kind of against midseason firings. Like, I don't really get the benefit of it. I'm kind of with you, Steven. Like, if you made this bed, this is the roster that we paid so much money for you to put together. Like, let's see what you can do with it. Coach every single game. I don't think you get some magical jump if you're first. I think a lot of folks are waiting, and I think these conversations are happening
exactly
anyway. So no, so if I had to guess, I would say no. This is not Hugh's last game at Auburn.
I want it to be. Because I want Arkansas to end the past 2 Auburn coaches' career. Because Harsin got fired after losing Arkansas. I want it to happen to Hugh Freeze.
Well, you didn't. You ended the potato famine, which we are thankful for.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Real quick for Zach, I mean, the reason why you do the mid-season firing, look at what Napier did down the back stretch last year, right? He saved his job by winning out. Like,
let's stop giving them that. Stop giving them he saved his job. Because when they announced he was staying for another year, not just through the end of the season, when they said he's going to be our coach next year, was the Texas game before Florida did any of that great stuff. They might have been blowing smoke.
I mean, sometimes like the leadership says that they don't want to fire their guy. I think that's totally an option, that they do not fire Freeze this year. Is that what I would do? Is that what I think is most likely? I don't know. But there is leadership at Auburn that is extremely hesitant to fire him.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are talking themselves into the idea that if Hugh just gets a quarterback, if he just gets the right quarterback, then things could change. Things could be different. I know that there are people that are having that conversation with themselves, with their booster buddies over a glass of bourbon, trying to convince themselves that, hey, just got to get the right guy.
A lot of
I think if you put pressure on him to hire an OC, I actually think it'd be fine, but I don't see that happening.
His ego's too much for that, yeah. And he's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer and all that stuff, and that's not.
And maybe he is, but man, the evaluation has just been awful. It's been awful. That's if you think it's Jackson. I'm not so sold it's all on Jackson, to be 100% honest with you, but
as the foremost Jackson homer
things wrong
on the network, a lot of it's on Jackson.
The best thing Hugh could do is start the.
That's better for Auburn if it is all on Jackson, right?
If he started Deuce Knight now, and Deuce showed some glimpses of brilliance, I think that would sell fans on. Oh, let's keep Hugh. Let's keep Deuce. The future looks bright.
But it won't be him. Like if they bench Jackson, which if it's 10-7 at halftime against Arkansas, or Auburn's offense has 3 or 7 or 10 points, and it looks terrible, it's Ashton Daniels. It's not Deuce Knight.
Right. But I'm saying if he were to go with Deuce Knight, that would be the one thing that could maybe save his job, that it would be a glimmer of hope of, oh, him with him, look, it's working. So
yeah, do the Lagway and Napier argument.
Right. If Auburn can't score 30 points against this Arkansas defense, then they just need to blow up the whole thing immediately.
John, I'm telling you, I would be shocked if we scored 30 points on Saturday.
Oh, man. Again, we'll see, but it would be pretty pathetic, to be honest.
Our crossover this week is going to be like,
it's going to be sad and funny.
Be a bunch of negativity. I'm dreading it.
Raise your hand. Do you think Auburn? Auburn scores 30 this week? Raise your hand.
Hell no.
Not one of y'all other than neighbors?
Hell no.
I think they could. That defense is terrible.
They'll be in the 20s. I think they'll be in the 20s.
Show me how many people have actually watched a Razorback game this year. It's just nobody raised their hand. So then that's how you know nobody's watching an Arkansas game this year.
Listen, unless Auburn breaks off like 80-yard runs, it's going to be like 3 yards in a cloud of dust every single play for the most part.
Yeah, well, there's also
we're not going to run the ball enough. So
yeah,
it's just
there you go.
And there's some of you oinkers on here that thought that Arkansas would win against A&M too. Like it's not going to happen.
Yeah, so. I love neighbors. I do love that there's all these like great matchups this weekend, and this is the game we're talking about first.
That's where we're gonna move this train along here. When we return, Jets, we're gonna get to the games that actually matter coming up next. Back to the squad show in just a second, but first, one of the tools that helps make a huge difference for business owners is Quo, formerly Open Phone. It's the same great business phone system you've heard us talk about before. It's just got a new name, and here's why it matters. Every missed call is money left on the table for your business. With every customer conversation that counts, you need a phone system that keeps you connected 24/7. And Quo is the #1 business phone system that streamlines customer communications. It works right through an app on your phone or your computer, so no more carrying around 2 phones or even relying on a landline. Whether you're a solo operator juggling everything or you're part of a larger team, Quo makes it easy to stay responsive and professional. Go see why over 90,000 businesses trust Quo, formerly Open Phone, and get started today for free. You can get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/lockedoncollege. That's QUO.com/lockedoncollege. You can even keep your existing phone number for free. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. This episode also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Of course, the NFL season and the college season, we are in the thick of both, and still got that great offer going on with FanDuel that you don't want to miss. If you've not taken advantage before, if you've never signed up with FanDuel before, right now new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. You pick a bet, you put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. You're going to love how FanDuel gives you so many different ways to play, from parlays, player props, following the live lines in games. I like going with the upset special. Teams that are huge underdogs, take them straight up. If you like doing money line, they can do that. Whatever you want to do, it just makes watching football more exciting when you got a little something riding on the action. When you're a casual fan or a big stat geek, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app today to get started. FanDuel.com. Take advantage of that great offer.
Incredible.
All right, Jets, let's start with SEC squad rolling along here, and we got to get to the venue where College game day is headed, just like we all thought. Nashville, Tennessee, the Vanderbilt Commodores hosting Mizzou. What's crazy is I got a text last Saturday from a friend who said, hey, I've confirmed LSU, all you got to do is beat Vandy. and game day is coming to Baton Rouge for LSU A&M. LSU loses to Vandy, they pivot and they go to Vandy. And John Miller, Mizzou, and Corey Olson locked on Vandy. What do you think with this matchup?
Did you just call me Corey Olson?
He did.
Corey Bird.
It's all those Full House references before the show.
That's right. Yeah.
I was looking at Brandon. Y'all look so much alike. Go ahead, guys.
I mean,
The new Olsen twins. Here they
It's
are.
the hair.
Gross.
Definitely the hair. Ugh.
So to me, I just think looking at this game on paper, as I said before, it just seems like both offenses have the advantage, and it seems like Corey agrees with me. Corey, have I lost my mind?
No, I think you're pretty spot on.
So to me, it comes down to, can Pribula keep up with Pavia? Because I think the last couple weeks for Missouri looked pretty dominant the first 4 weeks. Now the last couple weeks against Auburn and Alabama, hey, obviously the competition's gotten a lot better. Missouri really could have beaten Alabama fairly easily in some ways, got fairly lucky in a lot of ways against Auburn last week. You can almost flip the game script advantage, if you will. I'm not totally sure what to make of this Missouri team at the moment, because they've been kind of up and down, a little bit Jekyll and Hyde depending on the opponents. And this Vanderbilt team is just one that's not going to beat itself. I think Missouri has got to see the explosive plays come back in the passing game, because if it's just one of those games where it's 8, 9, 10-yard drives, I think that's an advantage for the Commodores, who don't take sacks, don't turn the ball over for the most part, and Pavia is obviously has the major experience advantage.
Yeah, no doubt. And, for Missouri, I think it's them trying to figure out just the balance of, hey, what do we do with this rushing attack? How do we get Bo Pribula involved in the game? How do we get these receivers going? And defenses understanding that, hey, we're going to force the game into Bo Pribula's hands. And he hasn't really been able to handle that yet from what I've seen. And then against Alabama, there was a couple of head-scratching decisions where I was like, you really kind of just lost control of the game there, especially that fake punt y'all had deep in your own territory, which I thought was kind of bizarre. But, with Vanderbilt's offense, you hit the nail on the head there too. They don't beat themselves. They've played a lot cleaner. It was a little rough at the beginning of the season with the penalties, but they've cleaned that up. The turnovers, for the most part, have been cleaned up. And the offensive line has been nothing short of amazing this season, especially in the run game. One of their offensive linemen is a nominee for Cole Kubelik's, block of the year or whatever on a pass pro. And, that fires me up as a former OC myself. So it's going to be a good matchup. I think with Missouri's front seven, the way they play the run and the way they, those edge guys, Damon Wilson, especially, and Zion Young, those guys are scary good. And so Vandy's going to have their hands full with those guys, but I think they'll kind of figure it out, and I think this will end up being a really, really good game.
Yeah, I think those two edge rushers you just mentioned there, Wilson and Young, if they're able to really make an impact on the game, that's obviously going to be a huge thing for Missouri. And like I said, those explosive plays, and not only that, just the running game too. Auburn was really able to control the line of scrimmage. Their defensive line just completely dominated Missouri for most of that football game. Blackerby will definitely tell you that. So my question is, for an LSU team last week that the offense was fairly moribund for most of the season, they moved it up and down the field pretty well against Vanderbilt. What does Missouri's offense look like? Again, I'm just not really sure what I'm getting with Missouri right now. And to your point on Bo Pribula there, I thought he was really pretty bad against Alabama. I thought he was better against Auburn, if not perfect. He was just really under siege a lot against Auburn. So he made some plays, made some bad ones too, including one early interception. But I thought Pribula was a little bit better than he was at least against Alabama for sure.
All right, way too much Mizzou Vandy talk. Raise your hand. Do you like Vandy to pull it off at home?
It's not enough.
Yeah, I think Diego Pavia is just special. I think he's getting closer to punching that ticket to New York for a Heisman invite, regardless of what happens with the season.
Let's talk about Auburn, Arkansas some more.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's get to LSU as well for sure.
The more Vandy keeps winning, the more
Texas,
the more I think.
sure.
they're a legit playoff team. Like, so it's crazy that this thing keeps rolling. While we got Steven and John here, guys, number 8 Ole Miss at number 13 Oklahoma. Some would argue this is the game of the week. Thoughts on this one, guys?
I think this is the most, like I said, the most consequential game in the Lane Kiffin era, because if Ole Miss wins this game, they're going 11-1 and going to the playoff. It's just the way it's going to end up. But if Ole Miss loses this game, they're going to end up like 8-4. They're going to tank just like they did in 2022 because of all of the smoke. I worry about everybody being able to handle what's going on. Now, I think Ole Miss can score some points, and they're going to score points on Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma is going to hold them down a little bit, but if Ole Miss plays clean and they're up for it, I do think Ole Miss is a better team than Oklahoma.
So just a few weeks back, Ole Miss only scored 24 against LSU at home. Now you're coming on the road to Norman, hostile environment against one of the better defenses in college football. That's not to say that Ole Miss will get shut out or they'll get held to 10 or less. They're going to be able to put some points on the board, but will they be able to score enough? It's going to be a fascinating matchup, and I think it has big-time playoff implications no matter what happens the rest of the way. For Oklahoma, they got to have it, because you go on the road, you got to play at Knoxville, you got to play at Tuscaloosa. You got to win all your home games if you want to be in the college football playoff conversation. And it starts this week. I'm not necessarily buying that Oklahoma is a 5.5-point favorite in this one. I do think that they have a good chance to win it because they got a great defense that's able to stop the run. It's going to slow Kewan Lacey down a little bit. Trinidad Chambliss, man, he is a legit athlete, and he's going to be able to make plays in this one. It's just, can Oklahoma limit the explosives? That's the big one, because Trinidad and that offense had a lot of explosives against Georgia. But I think Oklahoma's going to be able to slow the run game down a little bit, put the ball in Trinidad's hands a little bit more than what maybe they'd like to on the road. And that's where Oklahoma's pass rush maybe gets him a little bit more uncomfortable.
And Oklahoma has a good defense. I'm not saying they do not, but if you look at Oklahoma's schedule of who they played this year, it's like bad offense bingo. All they're lacking is Kentucky. Yeah, and 100%. So I think it's going to look a little bit different than it did against Auburn or against South Carolina. So we will see what it looks like. I'm not expecting. Yeah, I'm not expecting 5 touchdowns and 5 drives like they did in Athens. Yeah, they did. Actually, we ran that against was that Texas A&M. But I think this is going to be the best offense that Oklahoma is going to see maybe this whole year. Now, the difference is, can Oklahoma run the ball enough to open up Ole Miss's defense? Because that's how you do it. That's how Arkansas did it. That's how Georgia did it. Can Oklahoma do that consistently, or else it'll turn into the LSU game? And they can get pretty sticky when you allow them to play that drop 8 type coverage.
Yeah, and Oklahoma showed some things against South Carolina. They had their best rushing performance of the season. Torrey Blaylock, true freshman, SEC freshman of the week, over 100 yards rushing and touchdown, had 2 big 18-yard runs in the first drive of the game that really kind of set the tone for Oklahoma's ability to run the ball. Ben Arbuckle made some adjustments, spread South Carolina out a little bit more, took a guy out of the box. They were running against some lighter boxes. So I'll be curious to see how they approach Ole Miss. Do they do the same? Do they get their wide receivers spread out? Do they pull their tight end away from the formation to get a guy out of the box and then try to run against it? Because if they do that, I think they'll have some success. The Oklahoma offensive line probably had their best performance of the season this past week. And again, it's not a great South Carolina defense by any stretch of the imagination. LSU, who's Stinko running the football, was able to run for 166 on them the week before. Again, it's a building block. It's going to be a really, really tough game. Ole Miss is legit. I think they're still a playoff contender no matter how this thing goes for them. Oklahoma, though, they've got to have it, because with the rest of the schedule the way it is, you can't drop a home game and expect to still be in the playoff discussion.
Real quick, guys, when we return, we got a few more games we will run through. This is SEC Week 9. We are previewing here, a squad show rolling along. Hey, quick message from our friends at Mazda. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, and with more IIHS top safety pick awards than anyone else. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda, they bring this same intention in how they craft every model. You can feel Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to available Napa leather upholstery. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but. From the smooth handling to intuitive controls, And with all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. With Mazda, move and be moved. If you're looking for a new vehicle today, check them out at Mazda. Mazda, move and be moved. A few more games this week. SEC Week 9 in the conference. And, gentlemen, the last of the ranked-on-ranked games, it is number 3, Texas A&M at number 20, LSU. This game would have been awesome had LSU just not lost to Vandy. It would have been 2 top 10 teams. Instead, it's LSU fighting for their lives, and A&M riding high. A&M's getting a lot of roses, and I had to do a little reality check, folks, and just take a look at A&M and go, you beat one ranked team so far this year. It was on the road. It was at Notre Dame. Good win. Needed a miracle to pull it out. But I feel like A&M still hasn't really – they've got a favorable schedule. Am I wrong on this?
Yeah, go ahead. Keep talking yourself into it, buddy.
I'm not taking any – I'm just saying I'd look at A&M, and they're praising them, saying this team's got an 88% chance to make the playoff and all this. I'm going, guys, didn't we do this with Elko last year when they started 6-1?
I think Arkansas exposed a lot about A&M and that with their. I know Arkansas's got actually a great offense and a historically bad defense, but I think they exposed a lot. If Arkansas just would have had a pulse on defense, they would have won that game. But I think that there's been some things about A&M that they've been kind of playing with fire, which a lot of teams have been. But I think there's going to be some teams that probably saw some weaknesses there, and of course with Moss, his situation still. Being in that case, and if they can just stop faking injuries and getting fined for it, all those things together, may not actually have a chance at making the playoffs. But they're a good team, but I don't see them being this juggernaut. And unfortunately, they probably are going to go into the playoff because of their schedule the rest of the way.
Yeah,
I don't see LSU being a team that has the firepower to beat them.
They've given up.
I wasn't blown away with A&M when Auburn played them. If Jackson Arnold can hit a few open like elite receivers, then Auburn actually probably wins that game.
Yeah, again, and I'm not saying LSU is going to beat them. Now, I will bring up this stat: A&M has yet to win in Baton Rouge since they've joined the SEC, so it's a place they just lose every year. But to me, I was just looking at A&M, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Marcel Reed, Mario Craver, and Casey Concepcion have been awesome. I'm just saying, like, we did this a year ago with Elko. We're going, oh my God, Texas is going to win the SEC. I'm like, okay, let's pump the brakes here a little bit till reality sets in, and they got some tough games coming up on the schedule.
I mean, historically, that's A&M. A&M is the team that every single year you need to kind of prove it. They're a team that everybody wants to buy into, but always kind of falls short. That's just kind of them as a program. So you're right to take I need to wait and see more approach with this Aggies football program because that's just who they are historically.
Sort of like LSU at home in desperation mode. I think it's going to be LSU defensively is pretty good, and I do think I think that's going to give A&M some problems.
I will say this: I don't know what it is about LSU's defense. They just have trouble against running quarterbacks.
But they slowed down Lenore Sellers, right? So I mean, it's kind of been a mix.
Lenore's he was 1 on 11.
Yeah. It was
I don't know. We say that about every college team. We just say, the mobile quarterbacks get them, and it's just like, like these.
Yeah, they're dynamic.
They're weird.
Hard to defend.
Yeah, Jackson Arnold, would be dual threat if he could throw.
He has half of it down really good.
He's a really good runner. If he threw it, it would probably look pretty good.
And I don't think his arm's not getting it. He just won't throw it.
It's like he had Tommy John surgery and he just doesn't trust his elbow anymore.
3 other games real quick, guys.
And it breaks my heart. It does. I had the kid on the show back when he was in high school, so it hurts my heart that he's not doing
well. He's a great kid. Yeah.
Jimmy, could you give us a quick thought on Bama at South Carolina? Bama finally with a non-ranked team.
Yeah, just a weird anomaly in Kalen DeBoer's career, an amazing 19-3 against ranked teams. I mean, that's college football Hall of Fame stuff. And then on the road against unranked teams, it's just been terrible. It's just been, laughably bad. It's kind of strange that you play 4 ranked teams in a row, and it feels like this is the test. This is the test. The team that you're supposed to run out of the building, the team that you're favored by 14 or so to beat. This kind of feels like a weird test. It's also 5th game in a row. 3 of those 5 games have been on the road. But I like Alabama. I don't think Alabama's got weaknesses on offense like they had a year ago. Defense has been consistent. I think Alabama's been a little too consistent, and South Carolina is really sort of running in the mud right now, especially on offense.
Yeah, South Carolina has a thing working against them. Shane Beamer is their head coach, and so that's really killing them right now.
What's even worse is Mike Shula is their offensive coordinator, so that's a double whammy.
Yeah, they're kind of on quit watch right now.
It's quit warning time, I think, over there.
And yet I saw a mock draft today that's got Sellers going top 10. So,
kids get drafted, Anthony.
This quarterback class is pretty rough.
I mean, if Sellers wasn't as big and athletic as he is, he would have been sacked 10 times on Saturday. He just was under siege. I don't know how you make any kind of evaluation of him this year because he's got no time to do anything with the football. And I mean, he's still making things happen. So there's something that some guy is going to look at him and like, man, I can do something with that.
Imagine what he'll look like.
I wonder if the smartest move for Lenore Sellers with his agents is not entering the draft, but entering the portal at the end of the year.
I wonder if he'll do it, man.
An Oregon type team.
The South Carolina native.
Vanderbilt would be a great team for a guy like Lenore's.
It's either that or working in Saskatchewan.
Strike me dead the day Lenore Sellers says I'm going to Vanderbilt to win a title.
We
first,
might be here.
the playoff rankings that are about to come out could have Indiana at number 2, Vandy in the top 10, and Georgia Tech ranked number 7. I mean, who would have thought of this? Like when COVID happened, it's weird. Everything changed. Yeah.
Speaking of a team still alive for the playoff, Texas got one of the ugliest wins I've ever seen. I was there in person at Kentucky last week. They could still win out and make the playoff. They're at Mississippi State, guys. The way Arch Manning's playing right now, I think those Cowbells. I don't see him playing well at all on Saturday.
A Manning and Starkville, they have a chance to ring. Oh my goodness, that place is going to be coming unglued. And anytime Mark Stoops shows you how to play offensive football, you've got problems.
Texas, they're not winning out. They're not going to the college football playoff. Please don't sell these lies just because Texas fans in the comments cry and complain about how mean we are to them.
I mean, no Michael
Stoops
Taft.
going to Virginia Tech? Is that
Michael
a thing?
Taft is huge, man.
Yeah, I walked away from that Kentucky-Texas game the other night, and Texas fans, it was the first time I've ever seen an opposing team fan base walk away from a win and not talk any trash. They were like, well, that was as ugly as it gets. At least we won. And speaking of, that's our last game is Tennessee's at Kentucky. I've been told by multiple people there in Kentucky that they think there's going to be like 70% orange in that stadium on Saturday night. So Tennessee, I think, bounces back, you guys assume, after the Bama loss?
Yeah, Josh Heupel tends to crush the opponents that he should crush, so I think that will be true here.
I do hope that this game is at least like the one that was like 2 years ago whenever Kentucky had 45 minutes of time of possession to Tennessee's 15 and lost the game. I do want that just for entertainment factor.
And they got trucked in that game, didn't they, Steve? It was like 45-10 or something, and it was something crazy.
It was convincing. I don't know if it was that big, but it was an entertaining game just because it was like Tennessee 80-yard touchdown. Kentucky hold the ball for 4.5 minutes and gain 15 yards. I mean, that was the game.
Zach and John, final thoughts on Auburn, Arkansas?
Game of the week.
Take the under is my recommendation.
John's gonna tell you no because it's not Arkansas's defense.
Yeah.
Take the
that's a big stay away to me, folks.
What is the over-under on that?
It's drunk.
Like 34.
It's drunk. It's minus.
I think it just
drunk.
says tilt. I think that's the number.
Yeah. No. This is going to be equivalent of sticking a toothpick in between your big toe and nail and then kicking a cement wall. Like, it's not going to be an appealing thing for anybody to watch.
My
However,
toe hurts now.
I'm shocked you're not confident going into this, neighbor.
What time is this game at Saturday?
11:45, where it belongs.
Dang it!
Yeah, it's like, so it's going to be a dumb game for all the dumbest of reasons. And the reason that I'm not confident in it, Zach, is because Arkansas continues to lose one possession games. And it's so funny that both these teams are so similar, where they've lost one possession games and close. The only other difference is one's with offense and one's with defense. And I will say, as weird as it is, if y'all would have fired Hugh Freeze, I'd actually be a lot more worried about this game, but you didn't. So now I actually have a little bit more confidence that Arkansas wins. And for my boy Bobby Petrino, I really hope it happens because I'd like for him to have the job, to be honest. Be nice.
This is the week y'all put it all together, John.
Bobby over John Gruden, because I know you've been beating that drum a little bit.
Bobby's won me over. He ran the Cowboy Go Get 'em play against Texas A&M. Man, he had that 2-point conversion. That was a chef's kiss. I mean, people don't understand it. I know no one wants to care about this, but you're going to listen to it anyways. Arkansas is averaging 7.27 yards per play against Power 4 competition, which if you want to have historical purposes, that's higher than most of these national championship teams that have won over the past few years. If it wasn't for Arkansas's historically awful defense, they'd probably actually be a pretty good team. But
I was going to say, do you have the opposite number of what Power 4 teams have?
I got a great one for you, Brandon. Arkansas is averaging half a point per play defensively.
Wow.
Half a point per play.
Good Lord.
What?
Yeah.
That seems impossible.
That's amazing.
Arkansas would be awesome in the Big 12 in 2011. Like
Corey Olson's offense could score on that defense, huh?
Exactly, dude. I mean,
Luckily, we're playing Auburn this weekend, so it all comes together.
Neighbors, one last thing. What'd you make of A&M's social media post putting the A&M player on a motorcycle?
I thought it was funny. Like I'll be honest, man. It's like I'm always big on a good trolling thing there, but
no one really hit with the over 60 crowd. I'm sure.
I was gonna say it's been a minute
that was
on
my
that
thing
one.
too. I'm like, you gotta okay. It was 13 years ago, guys. Come on, let's grow up.
And that's the good thing about Lane Kiffin. Like all the social media stuff and all that. Like he is kind of the perfect coach in this current era of social media life because
that'll play well in
so well.
All right, gents, we will leave it there. Thank you guys for joining us. Follow and subscribe to your favorite SEC school. We will be covering your favorite team every day throughout the rest of the season.
We didn't raise our hands for Auburn, Arkansas.
Yeah, what the heck?
Okay, fine. Who likes Arkansas? I'll go with Arkansas.
I'm gonna go with the Hogs.
1, 2,
Points win
3,
games.
4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, Zach, you're alone. You're the only one.
I'm picking Arkansas too. I'm sorry, I didn't raise my hand. Dang.
And remember, I'll have you covered with the conference every day with Locked On SEC, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. SEC Squad Show will have a reaction show Sunday. Make sure you tune in for that. We'll talk to you guys down the road.
I mean, can't pick Hugh Freeze. That's
So much pain.
Texas sucks.
Always.
Somebody else in the next head coach at Florida.
They lost to a fire.